Kurinji Senior Secondary School, CBSE, Namakkal.
Successful result producing school in state every year.
Administered by the Board of Directors with over 35 years of experience in the teaching field.
Special attention on art, craft, music, dance, silambam, yoga, skating and karate.
Focus on Hindi Sabha and Spell Bee Olympiad exams.
Smart class for effective and innovative learning and well-furnished library.
Solitary importance on sports and games in state and national level.
WhatsApp facilities to know activities of students and school inside the campus.
NEET, JEE, IIT coaching experts from Rajasthan and Andhra Pradesh along with our effective teachers.
Admission registration for classes LKG to +2.
Kurinji Educational Institution, Kavetipatti, Namakkal. Admission in progress. CBSE, KG to 12, contact 9025895176. Metric 6 to 12, contact 9344567484. For online admission, log on to www.kurinjischoolnkl.in.
Good morning students. Today video regarding to the evidences of evolution based on the comparative anatomy. Already two evidences, one is a paleontological evidences completed and then embryological evidences completed. Why we are studying these and all means how earth evaluation after what are the different events are happened to developmentation of the different organisms. Such a wise we are discussing about this topic. Let me start today class. Dear students, evidence from comparative anatomy. Anatomy word, it is a internal arrangement of organs. Anatomy, it is a study of internal arrangement of body parts, whether it is a plant or any animals, whatever it is. So that is in the 11th standard we studied plant anatomy. In the in the 12th standard also some of the animal anatomy functions you seen. What are the different organ systems are they? That organ systems how they are working. That is a anatomy related topic. Here why we are necessary to learn about the comparative anatomy means, if you see that different organisms in our surrounding area, we can able to find it some of the similarities by the external morphology. Maybe sometimes external morphology wise not at similarities, internally they are having the something similarities. So that's why we want to dissect the organism, the internal arrangement, how it is their particular organs in the different relative organisms. Relative organisms is somewhat of similar, somewhat of relationship containing organisms. For example, if you take human being with a monkey or mammals group, in the mammals group different organisms, like our vertebrates group different organisms. So different organisms wise how the anatomical study is there we want to know. So that only here anatomy of the different animals find some similarities among them. In the our ancestors are find it when they did the experiment on the different animals. Based on that they shown the something proof evolution happens like this. So for that one they explained by the four important side headings wise. One is the homologous organs, another one is the analogous organs. Homologous organs, analogous organs, vestigial organ and atavistic organs. Atavistic organ and then connecting links. It is not a organs, it is a directly organism connecting link. Already we discussed in the previously also. So one more time we will discuss it here. So first one I will start about homologous organs. What is the homologous organs? The homologous organs means the organs having the similar structure and origin. They are having the similar structure and their similar origin, but not necessary to the same function. Simple statement, some of the organs are present in the different individuals. They are having the similar structure, origin of that structures also same place, but they are exhibiting the different functions, not at same functions. Such a type of organs we call the homologous organs. By the evolutionary pattern, by the understanding about the homologous organs, we can able to understand the evolutionary pattern that describe that occurrence of the similarities in the origin, internal structure, that is called homology. Here homologous organs we seen. In that homologous organ, one word, that is a homology. Homology means evolutionary pattern. That means from the earliest organism onwards up to now, from that earliest organisms onwards up to now, what are the evolutionary pattern describes that occurrence of the similarity. Similarity in origin. Internal structure is called homology. Internal structure is called as a homology. The study, nothing but a study of different structures. Okay, so that's why that study we call as a homology. These type of evolution we called as a divergent evolution. Divergent evolution. In this divergent evolution time, the origin is the same, or sometimes the different organisms are origin from the common ancestor, but they are moving the some different places. They will be show the different characteristics. That type of evolution we call as a divergent evolution. So these three statements are very important, because in the NEET examination maybe they will ask some different way of questions, maybe matching based questions or statement based questions. In that statement based questions, they are giving the totally these all the statements in the options wise, how many statements are correct, like that. So statement you should be remember. The first one, homologous organs, the organs having the similar structure, origin, but not necessary the same function. That means not at performing any same function. Now evolutionary pattern that describe that occurrence of the similarity in the origin. Similarity in the origin. Internal structure also similar. Such a type of organ study we called as a homologous. Homology. Homology. Now how it is happened means it is happened by the divergent evolution. Examples wise you will get a good idea. Board wise explanation also, some examples I said, some of the extra examples we will see here. One is a vertebrate. One example belongs to homologous organs. One is a vertebrate's brain and heart. Here if you see that vertebrate brain in the different groups, for example 5 classes are there now: fishes, amphibians, reptiles, aves, mammals. That these 3 classes animals brain anatomy, when you are understand the anatomy, they are structurally something we can able to find some common characteristics, common features we can find. Okay, and then heart also. Okay, heart also some common characteristics, common character, but they are performing the different roles. For example, if you take a fish heart we called as a branchial heart. Branchial heart, but in mammal heart it is not a branchial heart. Reason here heart onwards blood will be supplying to the only lungs in the fishes. Lungs onwards, lungs illanana gills. That gills onwards oxygenated blood will be supplying to the total body parts. Correct only na? So here their function is somewhat of different. And then advanced organisms, if you see in heart, that heart showing the one advanced character, that is a double circulation. First time we seen a single circulation in the heart in the earlier fishes, but advanced mammalian organisms are exhibiting the double circulation. But anatomy observation time, first fishes are having the 2-chambered heart, later amphibians are having the 3-chambered heart, and reptiles incompletely 3-chambered hearts. Birds and mammals are having the 4-chambered heart. Correct or not? So heart having the something anatomically similarities are there. Structural origin is the same, but they are performing the some different. Of course, it is a blood circulation only, but the method of supplying is something different, so different functions. So that is one of the example. Okay, then try to come to the next example. Four limbs bones of the whale, bat, cheetah and human being. When you are under internal bones of four limbs, our hands, in the 11th standard we see our human being hand is made up of the 30 bones kadana. As like our human being limbs, cheetah limbs also, four limbs also having the 30 bones, and then bat also having the 30 bones, and whale also having the 30 bones. So structurally something similarity. Origin also same place by the pectoral girdle. Okay, pectoral girdle. So here, but their function is different. For example, in whale, four limbs are swimming purpose, and then bats flying purpose, cheetah fast running purpose, horse. For example, if you take horse, four limbs are something bending is there, fast running, and human being hands are it is not running purpose, it is a balancing. Correct or Nina? Of course. By here, after listening of these statement, you can able to say one thing, sir, whether it is swimming or flying, whatever it is a locomotion only, na? Exactly, it is a locomotion, but the way of exhibiting of their function is different. Correct only, na? So function is different, so that's why we are kept in under the homologous organs. So here for four limbs, bones of whale, bat and cheetah, man, human beings, this is also one of the example of homologous. And then regarding the plants, trons and trindles of the bougainvillea and cucurbita. Bougainvillea plant, in paper flower plant is there now. In that bougainvillea plant, it is a spiny like structures are there, that is a trons. Correct na? Then tendrils in the cucurbitaceae family, creepers belongs to creepers kadana, we called as a those and all having the weak stem. So with the help of these one, they structurally something different, but the origin is the same. Both trons and then tendrils are origin from the axillary position of the stem. Okay, that basically that axillary position onwards, it want to produce a branches. That branches are modified in the form of the trons and tendrils for the purpose of the climbing wise. Okay, sometimes the trons are protectional ways, or tendrils are holding the one substratum and moving to growth wise. So here origin is the same, but their function is something little bit differences is there. Okay, origin from the axillary position of the stem. So that's why we kept this is also under homologous organs. Okay, so as like which are the organs are origin and then structurally something similarity exhibiting, and then when they are performing the function, they are exhibiting the different function way. Such a type of organs we called as a homologous organs. Okay, and then next continuation, analogous organs. In the analogous organs, we want to say a statement regarding to the analogous opposite of the homologous. In the homologous time, what we said, a similar structure and different function. Okay, but here we have to conveying like that, same function in the different structure. Same function in different structure. Organs which have the dissimilar structure, but origin also dissimilar places, but they are performing the same function. Such a type of organs we call as a analogous organs. Analogy, that such a type of organs study we call as a analogy. Here homology, how it is analogy. This analogy indicates a convergent evolution. Convergent evolution means what it is indicate means when the different places onwards, any organisms are came and jointed together, lead their life on one particular place, those and all become one particular way of style. Correct na? Basing on their environmental condition. So like that, Like that, maybe the structure is different, but they are performing the same function, so that is a convergent evolution. That convergent evolution also called as a parallel evolution. Parallel evolution. Okay, the examples of analogy is wings of butterfly and bird. Just observe it, Nana. Butterfly wings and then bird wings. If you seen that two things, bird wings are covered by the feathers. Butterfly wings are not like that. Okay, both are useful for same function, for flying purpose only. But if you seen that structure is lot of difference. So that only here I said analogous means which of the organs are structurally dissimilar but showing the same function, that is called analogous. So that's why here the wings of butterfly and birds are a best example of analogous, and eyes of the octopus and then mammals. Okay, for example, this is the time to recall of 11th standard concept. We seen in the animal kingdom cephalization process started from that place of Aschelminthes or Nematoda onwards. That means a little head position is there. In that head contains the something sensory organs. That sensory organs are taking the stimulations from the external environment. Here eye is one of that sensory organ only. That sensory organ eye is having that ability to find out the light, correct na, the visual purpose. In octopus or primitive organisms, you see in planaria also eye pits are there. Okay, but here octopus eyes and then mammals eyes are all are function only for identification of the light, vision purpose. But when you seen that structure of that octopus eye and then a mammal's eye are different. What is that difference means? Here in 11th standard you studied cockroach eye explanation time. I said about it is eye having the ommatidium. Number of ommatidiums are there. That ommatidium's presence it can't able to get a clear image. Number of image pieces will be present. It is that movie, if you seen that movie Eagai. In that movie, that Rajamouli directed movie, in that movie you can get it insect eye, how it is there, how it will getting image. Okay, like that in the lower organisms. Mammals having the advanced simple eye, but it is having the good megapixel vision clarity. So like that both are octopus eyes, mammals are both are vision purpose only, but internal structure is a lot of difference. That is only example of analogous na. And then flippers of the penguins and dolphin. Okay, penguin belongs to fish, penguin belongs to bird, dolphin belongs to mammal. Both are surviving their life in the place of water media in the sea. Here basing on their environmental condition, the flippers for swimming wise both are having the some flippers, but the purpose of the flippers are swimming. But the structural arrangement, if you observe that flippers of the bird and then dolphin, here they are having the dissimilar character. That is, a penguin flippers are just like wings like, and then dolphin flippers just like a internal anatomy, it contains the bones, 30 bones, how we have the like that. Okay, so these are the examples belongs to animals. One more example regarding to the plant, that is a sweet potato. That is a sweet potato and a potato. See Nana, sweet potato is belongs to root modification, correct only na? Sweet potato and potato belongs to stem modification. Though structurally they are dissimilar, but both sweet potato and potato both are storaging of food. It is a function is storaging of the food, but they are exhibiting that different characteristics modifications. One is a root, another one is a stem. So which are the organs are structurally dissimilar even though they are performing the same type of functions. Such a type of organs we call as a analogous organs. Okay, then next one, what we are discussing now, we are discussing about the comparative anatomy of different organisms for the giving the evidences. What evidences? Evolutionary evidences. By understanding of these things, homologous and analogous, we can able to say once upon a time the primitive organisms are modified and then advanced organisms are evolved. Such a type of clarity we will get it. So that is the reason. Okay, then vestigial organs. These vestigial organs mean which are the organs were function in the ancestor but not yet function in the residence in that descendants, reduce in the descendants, I mean present animals. See here once upon a time, one example if I say, you will get some idea. Once upon a time in our body appendicitis is there, appendix. That appendix is a very well function when the human being in the form of the early man, when simply he is hunting the animals and something surrounding grass item he ate. So on that situation, appendix is a more function to digest of several food items. For example, cellulose, because in the initial days the early man does not know cooking ability. So simply raw food items he had from the sources onwards. So when he ate raw food items from the plants onwards, the plant having the lot of cellulose. Okay, plant cell walls are also made up of the cellulose, cell membrane, cell walls, these and all. So that cell walls digestion, that cellulose digestion wise, the early man body needs some of the enzymes. That enzymes everything will be catalytic with the help of appendix only. But nowadays we doesn't have such a significant appendix. We have, but it is a rudimentant, not at a function. Because of when that human being invented that fire, then he started to cooking by the cooking way, and then he started to eat different type of food items in meat like. So slowly he reduced the consumption of the cellulose utilization. So appendix does not have to function. There is no work inside of body to digest the anything. So gradually several years after, hundred of thousands of years after, that organ is become a non-functional or rudimentant. Okay, so that is a non-functional. Now you understand such a type of organs we call as a vestigial organs. Here organs which is a function in the ancestors but non-functional in the present days. Okay, such a type of organs. Vestigial organs are conveying the one of the best evidence. By understanding of the vestigial organs, one of the scientists explained one theory, that is a use and non-use, use and disuse organs. If any one organ in our body we are using efficiently, such a organ is well developed. Which of the organs are not yet useful, disuses, such a organs is going to reduce. So like that, that theory is given by the Lamarck theory, use and disuse theory. Okay, according to that theory, these vestigial organs is giving to the good evidence, proof for that. So that's why I mentioned here, vestigial organs is a conveying the evidence of the organic evolution. It supports that concept of disuse theory of the Lamarck. Disuse. So Lamarck, what he conveyed in one organism, which of the organs are not function in their lifestyle. Not only one organism, it continuation of that race automatically that organ is disappear or maybe non-functional or reduce their size, like that. Okay, in the example wise you will get some more understandings, examples. Here one example is hind limb in python, here when you seen that not only python, just think it about snakes. Snakes, once upon a time snakes also as like reptiles, like chameleon, they are also having the legs, but they need to move very fast on the floor and then they want to go inside of the burrows. So if they are having that legs, limbs, that limbs are interrupting to the moving of the very fast. So that's why which are the non-use organs, they felt, organism felt that non-use organs will be disappear. That only happens in python, disappearance of the legs. And then in the pelvic girdle of the whale, pelvic girdle of the whale places also it is, because in whale swimming wise they need pectoral fins, I mean that flippers we said now. So that's why in the whale pelvic girdle is non-useful, so reduce their nature, their size and then their function. And then wings of the flightless birds, here ratite, one group of birds, that is a ratite. That ratite birds are belongs to non-flyable, because the wings are not much advanced. So lack of proper wings, and then bones also. Bones are such a birds more heavyweight. So based on that one, these are belongs to non-use. When the birds are not trying to fly, so gradually the weight of the bird, mass weight will be increased. That mass weight increased by that inside bone weight will be increased. Ossification of the bones, pneumatic bones we seen in the 11th standard general characteristics of the bird's time, pneumatic bones. Such a pneumatic bones are not at presence in the bird, and wings also lose their ability to the fly. Okay, useful for flight. So because of they are not at use their characteristic. Like that, this is the time to say, Nana, if you are not using our brain properly, simply eating and sleeping mean maybe thousands of years, human brain also just like a normal organ, it is without any thinking ability. Okay, so we have to shine up or improve our ability, thinking ability by using of brain. Okay, of course that ability is given by the nature, but we want to continue. If you are not using means automatically it will decrease their ability. So the such a wise all the people are having the equal power to think and equal power to understand, but some people are not at use properly. That is the reason. So whatever it is, wings of the flightless birds and vermiform appendix in our body. In our body, vermiform appendix, that already I explained in the first, correct now? Coccygeal part of our body and lactating membrane. Here lower organisms up to amphibians, eyelid is not at there. So eye needs something protection, correct now? So that's why that eye, instead of the eyelid, they are having the lactating membrane. So that is the reason if you seen anywhere of National Geographic Channel frog eye closing time, you will get it the movement of lactating membrane. And then atricular muscles of ear pinna. See, once upon a time our ears also very big size, like elephant or something dog or something cattle. Here our ears are differ from that mammal ears. What is the difference means we can't able to move our ears by willing. Okay, if you want to move means we have to take support of any other hand. But if you see in that cattle's, the cattle's ears are simply you can able to move it. Okay, so that is a elephant. So that is one of the advanced. Advanced means on particular time they have that ability, but we are when the gradual evolution time the organisms are not yet used their character, so that's why it is lose their ability. So eye size will be reduced, simply it is becoming a ear pinna. Okay, then memory glands in the male. Here once upon a time male also having that female as like female memory glands, but female only is giving to showing the parental care to the offspring. Males are not at shown their parental care. So that way gradually mammary glands are reduced, redundant. So these are the example for vestigial. Now you understand, vestigial organs means once upon a time that organs are is more functionative, but nowadays it is a disappear, or maybe sometimes it is non-functional. As like some of the scientists are understanding about the anatomy of the human being, by that understanding he conveyed one statement: human being is a moving museum. Human being, because of approximately 180 vestigial organs we have in our body. Okay, 180 organs are not at a function in our body, even though that means our body is showing the something museum nature only na. Okay, so which are the non-functionative things we are keeping into the inside of the one place, we call it that is a museum for visiting purpose. Like that our body is also just like a museum, moving museum regarding to containing of 180 vestigial organs. Then next, atavistic organ. Here simply I will orally explain, but it is not much significant, but it is a very funny thing. Atavistic organs, nothing but atavistic organs are sudden appearance of lost organs. Okay, for example, embryonic developmentation time, embryonic evidences time, I said one thing: all organisms are having tail in the embryonic condition, but when they are having that developmentation time, they lost, some of the organisms are lost their tail. Human being also not yet have tail. Okay, if you comparing the human being with the monkey, some similarities we can see, morphological similarities. So our body also just like that, but here and several years back human species lost their tail. Suddenly if the baby is born with a tail, how it will be seen, Nana? It is so funny, of course, but it is a character. It is there in our body already, that character is there, that gene also is there, but that gene is not at function. But suddenly that gene is ability to show their functionative, automatically that character will appearance only, because of all characteristics are genotypic control only. So a sudden appearance of any one organs in that human ray, that we call the atavistic organs. That's all, atavistic organs. Here human tail. Okay, some years back one baby born with a tail. It's happened, really it is happened. So such a type of organs we call the atavistic organs. Then next one, connecting links. Connecting links are different. It is a link between the different groups. Organisms act as a link between the different group. Here I mentioned already some names. By the names we will understand what are the link between the different organs. Here virus. Now this is everyone very well known popularized word, virus word. That virus is a non-living without any other living organism support. Correct only na? When they are take out the living organism support, whether plant or animals, it is belongs to activate to living condition. So based on that statement we can say virus is a link between the non-living things and living things. Okay, it is act as a non-living thing and living thing based on the situation. Like that Euglena is a link between that plant and animals, and Neopalina, that is a link between the mollusca and annelida, and Peripatus, it is a link between the annelida and arthropoda. Then duckbill platypus, it is a link between the reptiles and mammals. And lungfishes, Pteropus, these Pteropus is belongs to link between that fishes and amphibians. Balaenoglossus, already you seen hemichordata time, Balaenoglossus is one of the example. It is a organism belongs to hemichordata, link between the echinodermata and chordata. because of these organisms are exhibit the two type of group of characteristics. Virus showing the non-living character, living character, Euglena showing the plant and animal character, and the Neopalia, mollusca, annelida characteristics. So which of the organism is sharing the two groups of organisms characteristics, such a organisms we consider into the connecting link. So basing on the connecting link, atavistic organs and vestigial organ, analogous organ, homologous organs, what we understand here, organisms evaluation from the primitive organisms to higher advanced organisms, it is a proper way, I mean it is a continuation step by step process, it is happen by like that biological evolution is happened. Okay, because of we studied these evidences from the comparative anatomy under biological evolution only. By the biological evolution wise we want to show evidences. So by the evidences wise I explained paleontological evidences, later embryological evidences, now you got comparative anatomy evidences also you got it. That is the concept. Next I will be explain about biochemical and cell based evidences. Okay, up to that wait. Thank you.